pressure is mounting on the federal government and the striking university teachers to resolve their differences ahead of the 2019 elections. But INEC says it is meeting with the leadership of ASUU next week on how to resolve the standoff with the government. We have more in this report.
It is less than 2 months to the 2019 general election. Nigeria's electoral umpire worries about what consequences the continued closure of the universities will have on the polls. This is because INEC relies on the universities to recruit a large chunk of its more than 1 million workforce needed to execute the elections. INEC is worried too that if the universities are not opened at least 1 month to the election, it will be constrained.
Bulk of the ad hoc staff will be drawn from the core of youth corpus, who are graduates. They are no longer students in our tertiary institutions. But secondly, where there is a shortfall, and obviously there will be shortfalls, we rely on the universities. Remember, we also rely on the universities to draw our collation, our returning officers. So the ongoing strike is worrisome in case some of them say because of the ongoing strike, they will not participate in elections.
If the strike is not called off at least a month before the elections, it will also affect our preparations because we engage in route training of some of these ad hoc staff before we do a general training for them preparatory to the elections. And we need them on campus for us to do all these things. So our appeal is to the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities and the other sister organizations in the polytechnics and the colleges of education to sit down and put the national interest over and above any other interest.
But it is ruling out the postponement of the election.
The dates for the conduct of elections are not days that the INEC has a big discretion on. The INEC has a discretion to move around a certain period, a certain parameters, but in terms of postponement of elections to fall outside the constitutional framework, INEC cannot do that.
Many parents are also not comfortable about the lingering ASUU strike, which started in September.
To the parents and some of us who have brothers and sisters who are still in the school, we also worry because when you get to the school and you don't know when you are even graduating.
In the interest of the nation, it's important that the federal government and the grieving or striking ASUU people, they need to really come back to a round table.
The ASUU strike on the parents, particularly myself, it is negative. Now the children, one came yesterday, one came about a month ago. All they are at home, and they were saying that, Daddy, they don't know when the ASUU are going to cut off their strike, and this has a negative part on the parents. Now they'll be at home, doing nothing.
But the commission says it is thinking ahead and is scheduled to meet with the varsity teachers soon.
Academic Staff Union of Universities has been such a good friend of the Commission, and I intend to meet with the President and Executive of ASUU next week so that we can discuss and iron this out. We'll also extend it to the lecturers of polytechnics and colleges of education. So in addition to ASUU, we will meet with ASUP, the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, and COASU, the Colleges of Education Academic Staff Union as well, and all other unions in the tertiary education subsector.
The federal government and the leadership of ASUU have engaged in meetings which have yet to produce results since the strike began almost 3 months ago. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.